So obviously, different series handles character deaths very differently. Like there are some shown in series like Jujutsu Kaisen where death is a little bit more prevalent and it sticks around. But then you have other series like Black Clover or like One Piece where death happens, but not truly all too often. Typically, it's just a defeat or characters come back in some way, shape, or form. And honestly, it's kind of a personal preference, I feel like, for people on how they feel about death. Because some people welcome, a series where characters' lives are more at stake, but not necessarily want characters to die all the time. Whereas other people, truly do enjoy it when like most of the main cast is dead by the end of the series. So I mean, it's really is a personal preference. But I will say for Black Clover in itself, like I was saying in my last video, Tabata really does not enjoy killing off characters from what it seems like, just from how we've seen him handle things. Now, if you are holding out for the anime, this video is going to be a little bit spoilery as I get into the top 10 characters in Black Clover that should be dead or should have died. Again, these are just my personal opinions, so if you disagree, that's totally fine. It's no big deal. Let me know what characters down below that you would have liked to see die or that you think should die coming up. I'm going to list my 10 here, just from how I see how the story is going. A lot of these people are going to agree with. Some of you are going to be like, what is going on? But nonetheless, we're going to get right into the list. And starting right out at number 10 is, at the recording of this video, I'm for sure if this person is alive, but I'm pretty sure they are. And that'd be Vanica. Vanica, by all rights, should be dead. Like, she legitimately got her body completely taken over by Majecula and also got hit point blank, like at point blank range.
Point blank range! Thought I hit him.
By Gaja's ultimate magic. Like, Majecula wasn't even around when that hit her. I don't care what I say. She took that head on. She should be obliterated. Like, Vanica should not have a body any longer. She should be dead. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that Majecula wasn't at 2/3 power because Vanica was still alive somehow is crazy to me. That's just wow. Number 9 is a character that we are for sure of if they're alive or not, but that would be Dante. Now Dante being one of the villains of this arc, a lot of people thought he was the main villain, but that is very clear not so. He's kind of just been around, and after his defeat with Magna, I kind of feel like he's kind of done everything he was meant to do in the story. Obviously immensely powerful, but I really can't see much else where his character could possibly go from here. Like, there's kind of no reason for him to stick around. So I really feel like Dante should just be dead. Hopefully Jack did finish him off in their little last exchange, but I just get the horrible feeling that Tobias is probably going to keep him alive for no reason. Now, number 7 is probably where it's going to start to get a little bit crazy. Like, whoa, like, why do you want that person dead? And this one is not that I want this character dead. It's just that I feel like in this moment it would have been it would have been wild, and that would be Father Orsi. I'm not for sure how you say his name, but the foster father of Asta, like the man leading the church. And I really feel like when the elf invasion was starting and their Hajj village was under attack by that like poison elf, and he had like poisoned everybody, and Asta come in and save everybody, but they can't fix him. But then Asta does use his power of the Demon Annihilator sword to dispel the poison from him, thus saving his life. I feel like it would have been really dope, or like just a good character moment in general, because like imagine this. Okay, he's already poisoned. Asta uses his Demon Annihilator sword, removes poison, but since he's old and damaged, he still dies anyway. So you get like this like crazy heart-wrenching moment for Asta and Sister Lady, everybody right there, really like pushing the motivation forward through this whole because that's what really started Asta's like tear through the Clover Kingdom, defeating elves before he got like to the capital going into the Shadow Palace. I really feel like that would have been like an amazing way to kick it off. Honestly, like it would have been. I wouldn't have wanted him to die. Like I would have been sad, but I feel like it would have been a very impactful death. I feel like it would have meant something. Moving on to the very next one. Within line of killing it sounds horrible, in line of killing off church officials would be Sister Theresa. And Sister Theresa, she had took so much damage in that cave arc. Like she took like multiple light arrows from Partry, and it kind of really did feel like she was gonna die. It really felt like they weren't going to save her in time. And then she even gave like that last little bit of her power, or it might not have been the last little bit, but she did give her power to Gauche, and it kind of felt like that was going to be it for her. And it would have made a lot of sense because she actually just is super duper old and had got messed up really bad, and they were kind of late to save her, and she did give away her power. It would have made a lot of sense, and it just kind of would again like brought a overall tone of seriousness to the story, kind of to just bring us back in. Because I mean, like I've said in numerous times before in videos, you don't need to kill characters, but killing off characters does kind of put that air of seriousness, kind of like make a lot of the stakes feel more real in your series. It's just kind of, it's kind of just like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I don't know how this is going to go, characters could die. It gives us readers tension, or us enjoyers of it tension, and without death you are lacking in that. For number 6 is one that I know a lot of people were on the fence of when it happened, and that would be Gauche. Gauche, during, you know, the thing with Dante, when Dante did impale him with the giant sword, sending Asta into his berserk rage. Now we do know that Gray awakened some new power in her and then did heal him. Not saying that doesn't make sense, because, you know, whatever, it does make sense. Magic can overturn reality after all.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So of course it just makes sense. But I really feel like it would have added, again, more seriousness to the whole Spade invasion, because I mean, lots of civilians and the Heart Kingdom was ravished in Banaka's attack. Xenon murdered half of the Golden Dawn base, but the Black Bull suffered literally 0 losses. So it's kind of just like whatever. I mean, Yami got captured, but he's still alive, so it's like, so what? I really feel like Gauche dying in this moment would have like fully completed, you know, the whole triangle of grief for Noelle, Asta, and Yuno. Like, it would have just really got it all together to where they all would have truly lost something, and people that they did care about. And then it would have boosted up Dante, because it was like, oh man, Dante actually killed somebody. Because I want to say right now, I don't think Dante has any bodies. Like, I'm trying to think about it. I know like Lucifaro has bodies, but I don't think Dante has any bodies. Like, I don't think he's actually killed anybody in the story that like we have seen on panel in the manga. Like, I don't think in the manga I mean, of course we can assume he's killed people, like we can totally assume that, but like as far as named characters, I like, in the comments let me know. I don't think he has any named bodies, which is kind of wild for as powerful as he is. Like, they could have at least gave him Gauche. I mean, yeah, it would have ruined the whole like Gray and Gauche ship and Gordon's friend and all that, and Marie would have been really sad. But I really feel like Gauche's character arc is kind of over. Like, he already had his moments with Marie, you know, and his moments when he was an elf, recognizing that, you know, he does care about the Black Bulls, he does care about us, he does care about other people, his sister. Everybody kind of told him that there's no really where else for Gauche's character to grow. So him dying wouldn't have really necessarily been that bad for the story, in my personal opinion. I mean, you know, I know Gauche is a really popular character. You know, he's a really polarizing character, I'll say that. But yeah, I feel like his death would have actually been really impactful. And then on to the next one. The next one is kind of, this one being the 5th one, is kind of like in the middle for me, and that would be Julius. You know, as we know, Julius did have his fight with Patri, where he did end up sacrificing himself to save everyone by, you know, stopping all the light arrows, but thus getting stabbed himself, making him, you know, forcing him to use the swallowtail to like basically age himself to where he was 13 just to stay alive. So it's one of those things where Julius's death, it really did feel like he was dead, and we had already, I feel like as a fandom, we're over it, and then they just brought him back to life. And again, like I've said before, it made sense how he came back. In terms where it made sense, but I feel like he should have been dead, because it would have just been that lasting effect. It would have been, as much as I hate this,
you don't get it. I hate this.
I hate this so much. I hate comparing things to Naruto, but it would have been very similar to in Naruto, when, you know, the 3rd Hokage died in their war with the Orochimaru and the Sound and Sand village, and you know, he did die in that fight. They lost their leader, and then moving forward they had to rebuild and find a new leader. I feel like that would have been a beautiful moment for Black Clover to do something similar to that, because it does just work, and it does make sense from a story perspective. Like, this is a actual thing that would have just been really dope. Now, I will say, if Julius was dead, then the story might not have, like, I feel like the story would be different, but I feel like we would have still gotten to this point. I don't feel like if Julius wasn't around, we wouldn't have got here. Like, I don't think it would have I don't think it would have derailed the story that much, in my personal opinion. Number 4 is the main one from this past chapter that everybody really thought was gonna die, and by all rights should be dead, and that would be Gaja. Gaja 110% should be dead. Like, he actually should just not be alive anymore. This man had an entire hole in his chest, stomach, abdomen area. And then you proceeded to use all of his life force, turning it into mana, and then blasted Majecula with it. So like by all rights, Gaja should have literally had 0 in the tank, physically, magically, life force, spiritually. It's like Gaja should have been dead. I mean, of course, Mimosa does come in and heal him with her ultimate plant magic, you know, that can overturn reality.
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
It's just all the writing on the wall was for him to be dead. And like I said, it makes sense how he's alive. That's a reoccurring thing here. It does make sense. But, you know, we already got what was his backstory. Honestly, there wasn't a lot of character setup or character development for Gaja, as I've been saying multiple times throughout him being a character. He just really doesn't have a lot to him. So like his death would have been like the last hoorah for him, I guess. It would have been the last way to make us care about him. But him being alive, you know, confessing his love for Lord Pesci, kind of like whatever. Him being alive just made me really not care. But it's just odd because we are in the middle of this war arc and no one has, you know, like Gaja was the closest thing to someone being seriously injured or almost dying. Him and Noct. And like Noct still being alive makes a lot of sense because he's kind of more or less the brains of this whole entire operation, whereas Gaja is more or less just like a frontline fighter. So like if we lose a couple frontline fighters, that makes sense. We kind of can't lose the main brain. So Gaja would have been like logically would have made sense to die here. As for number 3, I believe like I don't really have an exact person that I would place here, but I believe just another captain should die. And it's kind of interesting when you think about which captain should. I feel like logically the two that make the most sense outside of someone that is later on for the list, I'm pretty sure everyone knows who that is, but outside of the captain that is on this list later, I feel like another captain right here should die, and that would either be, for me personally, Dorothy or Jack. And my reasoning for this is Charlotte does still have, you know, more stuff to go on. Like Charlotte's character has more to grow. You know, Real still has his ultimate masterpiece. Kaiser's not here. Fuegoleon as well as Nozel are royalty, so they kind of have more plot lines within the Clover Kingdom themselves. Like them themselves have more to go on into the Clover Kingdom. Yami and William are captured, so I'm just not, like I said, they're there for later on. And I guess like the main conclusion would be Jack or Dorothy. Now Dorothy doesn't really have any development, honestly, no backstory. We don't really know much about her. She kind of just is. I mean, we know she's a witch, but you kind of just have to read between the lines and read like character profiles and stuff to know that. Like they don't really even tell you in the story. And Jack, his whole thing is kind of done. Like we got his backstory, he's been developed, everything's been done. So like in terms of like proving how serious this war is, as well as raising the stakes, killing one of them would make a lot of sense. It would just make a lot of sense. Now, for the second person that I really think needs to die in Black Clover, this is going to be such a huge shock to everyone, and I already know it is. But the second person that I think really needs to die in the story is Mimosa.
I'm sorry, I'm rather high up here. What did you just say, Goku?
I know this sounds crazy coming from me. I'm a huge fan of Mimosa's character. I think she's really dope. You know, Mimosa Nation is, you know, I'm an active card carrying member, obviously. But the thing with Mimosa's character is with her having ultimate plant magic, that doesn't seem to have any like super crazy drawbacks to using it. She can bring people back literally from the brink of death, and that is really dangerous to have in a story, to have this get out of jail free card. So I really feel like if Tabata even wanted to kill characters, it's kind of hard to do that now when you have this looming, you know, like I said, get out of jail free card in Mimosa's ultimate plant magic that can like she's literally a walking sensu bean at this point. So it's like she can kind of bring you back from anything. Like you can, like Gaja literally had nothing, no magic, no life force, hole in his chest, and was coming back. Like Mimosa's second to body magic at this point. Like she's second to body magic now. It's like, it's just, she has, her healing power is too powerful, honestly, so that it would make a lot of sense to get rid of her in some capacity, so you could kill characters. Because honestly, at this point, if someone gets mortally wounded from here on out, my first thought is going to be, why don't you just teleport Mimosa over there so she can fix it? And that's going to be my literal first thought. So it was just that to go on why I think Mimosa should not be. I'm still a fan. I don't want her to, obviously. If she does, I'm be really sad. I'm be sad. I'm be bummed. But it just makes the most sense in terms of the story moving forward. And as for the number one character that I think should be dead in this series is, I said I was going to talk about Yami and William later. I believe it is William. Now, I know a lot of people will like to see Yami die, and that could lead on to lots of other things for the story. However, I do not think Yami should die in this arc, just because Yami is a really important character, and Yami just existing has so many ties to other characters. He has still much more to go on to. So I don't really think Yami should die, just because of how integral he is to the story. It would be such a loss. While I do think William has basically done everything he needed to do in the story. Like, William had his whole backstory developed, you know, is trying to he's trying to atone for what he's done, and William is a very self-sacrificing person. Like, he is a self-sacrificer, so obviously he has been trying to atone for what happened in the Elf arc. This entire time he's been trying his hardest to do that, and sacrificing himself to save Yami or to save everyone with this tree of a cliff off would make the most sense for him. And honestly, I don't see how you save him and Yami and just literally have no one die this whole arc, this entire arc. Honestly, at the bare minimum, William should be the one character that does die in Black Clover right now. Like, he really should be. So, like I said, let me know who you guys think should die and should not die down below. I'm very curious to know how you guys felt about my list here that I had put together, characters that I think should die. I just want to hear some of you guys' opinions and some of the people you guys think should die. But yes, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. I really do appreciate all of the support. Make sure you guys also subscribe to the channel. We're getting actually dangerously close to 2K here, which is kind of exciting. So make sure you guys do subscribe if you are not already. Aside from that, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in my next video.